Keep parking every hole. Keep parking every hole. Keep parking every hole. Yeah.
Oh, that's it. That's it. There it is.
Tell me your name, where you're from.
Nate Sexton, Eugene, Oregon.
Nice shot, Nate.
Welcome to Disc Golf Live Video Magazine, and thanks for tuning in. We've got two stories this time around, including the final installment of our three-part series from the United States Amateur National Championship. We've also got coverage of the Capital City Renegades CCR Open from a new course just outside of Lansing, Michigan. And we'll get to that after this.
Production and distribution of Disc Golf Live is made possible through the generous support of our underwriters. Thanks for your support.
Have you started your class collection yet? I have. I got all 7.
Now that's what we saw at the room.
Clash DVD. Start your collection today. I've got mine.
It's that easy.
He's looking at a turbo. It tends to go in a lot.
Clash DVD. Have you started your collection? I have mine.
That's got a chance.
Clash DVD. Have you started your collection? I got mine.
Our first feature brings together two former high school rivals, each seeking the biggest win of his career. But there's a couple of others in the lead foursome who can't be counted out.
2-minute warning here at the 2011 CCR Open. Final round at Burchfield Park in Holt, Michigan. Brand new course put in just this spring. Dual baskets, dual tee pads, 18 holes. There's the tournament leader, Geoff Bennett.
Geoff posted the top score in each of the previous day's 2 rounds at nearby Grand Woods Park. With over $1,000 on the line and few strokes separating them, all 3 challengers on this card and quite a few others off the trailing cards have a shot at the CCR Open title. Par is set at 63 for today's layout, which plays from the back tees to a mixture of short and long pin placements. They're playing the short pin here, just shy of 300 feet. Ziggy Bierekoven trails by 4 to start. He's the youngest of this group. Kevin Tomasaitis is also 4 back. KT and Bennett grew up literally down the street from one another. Mike Raley is the senior member of this group. He could play in the Masters division, but prefers the challenge of playing with the young bucks. Called Devil's Den, this county run course was put in only a few months earlier. Ingham County includes Michigan's capital city, Lansing, and has a thriving disc golf scene. There's a modest pay-to-play fee here at Burchfield, and ample tee and basket options for players of all skill levels. There's been some outside-the-box course design here, and we'll highlight some of those efforts as the tourney progresses. For this hole, it will be pars around, so Geoff remains 4 up. The par 4 second hole brings our first unique design feature. There's a Mando early on. This one stretches out to 640. The Basket only visible from well down the fairway. There's the mandatory. No going around. All throws must pass over the wall they built just for this hole. And that gap out there is not terribly wide. The key to this hole is coming up with a viable second shot, as the landing area is riddled with obstacles, even if you can manage to clear the first gap without incident. Unfortunately, there might need to be some tweaking of this course for safety concerns. Not far past that wall sits the tee to number 3, where we found the second car driving as we walked up.
Stay in.
Bennett had come to rest just in front of the third tee pad after hitting a branch, so he's got his work cut out for him. It's good to have a cannon. Mike was a bit further up the fairway, shooting towards the basket, tucked in behind some trees, not yet visible. Kevin got a serviceable lie at least, and goes with his backhand.
Definitely a putt.
Despite having the longest drive, Ziggy picked up the worst lie. He's forced to take a knee and ends up in the woods.
In the middle. Yep.
Here's a peek from the corner.
Ziggy's in there. Basket is over there.
Kevin had the first go at a birdie 3. Mike was a bit closer still. A few feet further and Geoff might have been stymied, but he's got a good look at this one. Geoff's pretty deliberate out there, to put it kindly. But they say, good things come to those who wait.
Yeah.
Big 3 for Geoff Bennett here in hole number 2. Like Ziggy's going to take a 5, and otherwise we'll have a pair of 4s.
Players must retrace much of hole 2 to reach the tee for number 3 again. It might be a lot safer to move this tee pad up a couple hundred feet. That would help with pace of play as well. The left side is particularly punishing early on here, while the trees and shrubs allow for a high line on the right side. Kevin slipped to 5 behind Bennett with a par on 2. Mike is 6 off Geoff's pace. Ziggy puts up the best drive of the bunch. Let's see if he can buy a decent lie this time. This hole opens up considerably, a few hundred feet down. Bennett is the first to tackle the upshot here and goes with his forehand. Mike goes backhand. He lacks the raw power of the others, but seldom misses his target line. Kevin's going with his best bet, the overhand thumber. My shoulder hurts just watching these. Ziggy's also got power to spare. He works a sweet backhand turnover here. One of the more difficult shots to master. Nearly 900 feet long, and all 4 players have a shot at birdie 3. This pin sits in a shallow bowl, highlighting some nice landscaping.
Nice 3 for Kevin Tomasaitis. Nice 3 for Bennett.
Things just aren't clicking so far for Ziggy.
That'll be 4s for Mike Raley and Ziggy Bierekoven here. Geoff Bennett and Kevin Tomasaitis. Card 3s.
The shorter basket is in play here on the 4th, measuring out at 343. We've got to buy this sign maker a bigger font. Geoff and Kevin both notched birdie threes on the last hole to keep the gap at 5. Kevin's overhand is lost against the sky, but watch the basket if you want to see it land. Mike goes with his forehand. Normally, we would have scooted down to the far end of this one to keep the sun at our back, but with the temperature already nudging into the upper 80s, we're not hurrying anywhere today. Ziggy will give the forehand a try as well. Geoff had plenty of D. That's the bagged up long pin in the background.
Geoff Bennett from the outside. 3 nice putts in a row for Geoff. Game on today.
It's been another story altogether for Ziggy.
That's Mike Raley in there. Bid at a 2 here. Good effort. There's Kevin Tomasaitis' overhand park job. Doesn't get any better than that. Doesn't go in.
Very nice, Geoff.
Nice 2 here for Kevin Tomasaitis, matching Bennett. Hole 4, doubles down.
At 378, the 5th should be in the wheelhouse for these guys. There's not much wind yet today, but that will change as the morning goes along. Looks as if Geoff got this one a bit flatter than he was hoping for. And finally a shot from Kevin that we can follow. Textbook power hyzer. Sweet. We like the tree they added out there to block off the direct line at the basket. Otherwise, the mature trees and shrubs already out there seem like they were just waiting for a golf hole to be dropped in. Geoff has banged home his last 3 putts, all of similar distance to this. There's Kevin's drive under the basket.
Yeah, Mike.
Nice birdie for Mike Raley.
Ziggy could use a jump start.
Geoff Bennett cars at par 3. There's Kevin Tomasaitis sitting under the basket. There he is. Nice 2. That would be a drop in.
Kevin gets one back on Bennett and trails now by 4.
The Professional Disc Golf Association is the governing body for the sport of disc golf. From local tournaments to the amateur and professional world championships, the PDGA oversees sanctioned events for disc golfers of all skill levels. The PDGA is a not-for-profit organization dedicated to promoting disc golf around the world. To learn more about the PDGA, visit www.pdga.com. Get out and play a round of disc golf. The sport of the future is here today.
Five holes in, we leave the top card for a while to catch up with some of the other action on the course.
Sugar Shack finding the fairway here. We picked up the action, the top Pro Masters card, as they play the long 3rd hole here at Devil's Den.
We thought it would be interesting to look at how different divisions play the same holes.
I heard a lot of contact there. Never saw it. There it is. Right behind a tree.
That's Mark Ellis, a familiar figure to longtime viewers. He's actually eligible to play as a Grandmaster for guys over 50. There's Darren Harper, a few months shy of being Grandmaster eligible as well. We'll blame that one on camera jinx. These are the guys Mike Raley would be playing with if he opted out of the Open division. This is Tim Weimer testing out his overhand. Seems to be working.
Very nice. Beautiful shot.
Mark and Darren started the round 4 throws off the pace set by Tim.
Right in the pit.
Al Sugar Shack trailed Tim by 1 to start.
That could be beautiful.
Darren played out of the woods before this to set up a short putt for bogey, while it will be par 4 for everyone else. Birdies are just about out of range here for this division. Let's see how the Masters fare on the 4th. Mark Ellis has the tee. Tough sledding. Tim is from the west side of Michigan. His 2-round total of 98 would have placed him in the middle of the Open division if he played there. Sugar Shack is another west sider. although he's originally from the east side, so everywhere in Michigan, folks claim him as a local. Darren tries out his roller. More camera jinx, I guess. Birdie twos are elusive here, and layups seem to be the order of the day. Tim has a little work to secure par 3. Pars around.
Making it exciting for the camera.
Oh, you kissed it.
I was ready to.
You were ready to get paid, eh?
Oh man, I need some Burger King money, man.
Just hit change, and then you pays us $1 anyways, right?
No, I don't pay dollars. No,
Yeah,
I don't pay dollars for metal.
By local custom, Mark would have paid off $5 a man had his drive made a dreaded black ace on the wrong target.
Oh, nice rip.
Nice shot.
Very nice.
Check your ID.
While the Open players usually have a kind word for a good shot, the atmosphere is usually, shall we say, a bit charged. We found the Masters age players to be, on the whole, a lot more relaxed about their golf. The competitiveness is still there, but with less riding on the round and a few more years under their belts,
Nice line.
these guys don't take things too seriously.
Oh, nice, yeah, right there.
Nice shot, Darren. Dang. Checking IDs, eh? Huh?
Oh, you know how fat and old I am.
Mark and Al both had little opportunity to snag a deuce here today. On his way to a minus 558 and first place by a margin of 4, Tim Weimer notches his birdie and helps lock up a check for $540. Sugar carded a 2-under, good enough for second place. Shaking off the camera jinx, Darren parked himself in third place, also shooting 2-under, 61. Florida's Greg Hosfeld came off the second card to finish in fourth, dropping Mark Ellis to fifth. Conveniently, just as the old guys wrapped up, the ladies ambled by on the long third hole. The women's field was pretty sparse this year here at the CCR Open. Chalk that up to scheduling. Just a week after this event, there was a ladies-only tournament scheduled just north of Lansing, which would draw a large field. No matter, we'll follow this trio for a couple holes. Kira Damusas split her 2011 season, playing both pro and amateur divisions, with an occasional foray onto the men's side to find a decent-sized field. A player can retain amateur status by not accepting cash prizes. Crystal Fromm is also still an amateur, playing both pro and am as circumstances warrant. That's Sarah DeMar.
Don't put that in the video.
Not happy with her putting. No worries though. The 7th row cushion she started with hasn't been threatened. She really snaps this one off. All three of these gals showed up in our last episode as we covered the nearby Disc Girls Gone Wild tournament. If you missed it, our shows are archived on YouTube, so you can surf over and catch up on the action. Next episode, we'll have more from Disc Girls Gone Wild as well.
Nice shot.
You can hardly see her in there, but Crystal nearly drops this overhand into the bucket. Well done.
Love it. Crystal, you...
Kira has laid up. Sarah for a birdie 2. Just a little shy. Nothing left to do but tidy up.
Yeah.
Sarah will have to get all of this one to have a putt at deuce. Watch how she accelerates through the shot, starting with her hips. That's where her extra distance comes from. Now if she could only get the line right. Crystal and Kira are both playing for position. The practice at most tournaments is for the pro women and men to play the same layout, yet on holes like this, the very character of the hole changes as the gals look to avoid bogey while the men are looking to make birdie. Playing 286 from the shorter tee, this hole would offer the gals the same natural challenges while still being in birdie range as it was for the pro men. For the round, Kira posted an 82, 19 over par. Sarah fared pretty well on the day, posting a 10 over 73. It was a 79 for Crystal, 16 over. When the dust had cleared, Kira and Crystal were tied for second, while Sarah DeMar happily accepted the first place check for $355. Bidding adieu to the gals, we headed across course in search of the top pro men and found them just about to tee off.
Right in the heart of it. Picked up our leaders again. I believe they are on the tee to hole 14. Don't know the distance.
Nope. Turns out this is hole 10. They're playing to the shorter basket, measuring out at 360, with the pin in behind that wall of trees somewhere.
He likes that one. Kevin Tomasaitis with a wicked overhand. They're tough to follow. Here's Bennett last on the tee pad. That can't be good news. We'll see how this lead holds out when we get a look at the card. If he has a lead. Somewhere over there must be a basket. Well, there's the basket they were all looking at, right behind this wall of stuff.
Okay, praying a little bit.
Mike's looking for divine intervention.
It's out.
Great enough, I guess.
Oh yeah.
That's Bennett in there.
Save, Mike.
I guess Kevin wasn't as happy with his drive as I thought. Not much to work with there. A bit of cleanup work to do here, and it will be threes around for this foursome.
Yeah, we're driving here on hole 11. Mike has thrown. Beat us to the punch. We're just sitting back in the shade. It's a blind hole. It's getting sweltery out here.
As we follow this group through this hole, we'll recap early action and find out what happened while we were with the other division.
And they've got a spotter up here. Blind hole. Critical to have a spotter out there if you want to find your plastic.
If you recall, Kevin Tomasaitis started the day 4 behind the leader through 2 rounds, Geoff Bennett. Geoff got off to a rocky start here on 11, catching an early tree. He had made a trio of long putts on 2, 3, and 4 to build up some momentum, but it seems that was short-lived. 5 off the pace to start. The early holes were pretty ho-hum for Mike Raley as he dropped to 7 behind. This fairway brought us past some features created around this course to spice things up.
There's a good look at one of the other holes here. They're a series of constructions they call bunkers here, out of play.
Kevin's pinpoint driving early on allowed him to keep pace with Bennett through 5 as they remained 4 throws apart. Ziggy Bierekoven was a bit slow out of the blocks to start the round, dropping 2 throws over the first 5 holes to trail Geoff by 7 with a baker's dozen to play. He gained 1 of those throws back over the next 4 holes. The 4 holes we missed included a couple real doozies, and they weren't kind to Geoff. He carded 5, 5, 3, 4. Kevin, meanwhile, had those holes for lunch, carding 4, 3, 3, 4 to close within 1 of Geoff. Mike Raley, steady as always, carded 2 4s followed by 2 3s, and he now finds himself only 4 off the pace going into this hole. Geoff for a 5. Kevin is under the basket for a certain 4.
Early trouble here leaves Geoff with a 6. Ziggy played across the road through the woods there and was OP, so he's going to have a big number.
Is that where you landed? No.
I think Kevin Tomasaitis and Mike Raley are going to get in the basket with happy 4s.
And with that 4, Mike retains honors and sits 3 behind the new leader, Kevin Tomasaitis. There's Kevin, off to take a peek at this one. He opts for the backhand hyzer. Ziggy is known online as the Shrimp Boat Captain.
Bye-bye.
Ziggy might have preferred the longer pin. With a 6 on the last one, Geoff now finds himself trailing by a throw. His initial 4-throw lead, not worth a plugged nickel. Mike puts up a great bit of deuce from the outside. We just missed Ziggy's throw. Also missed the bees that attacked him. Geoff's about 8 paces out, maybe 25 feet. He's feasted on putts longer than this all day.
Nice one, Geoff.
Kevin's made a couple of putts on camera today, but has relied mostly on pinpoint accuracy from both tee and fairway.
I knew it. I knew it.
So much for the lead. Now it's Kevin and Geoff knotted up on top. Mike trails by a pair. Ziggy's just got to survive. Even Mother Nature's working against him now.
Be a birdie for Bennett. Pars around otherwise. Disappointment for Kevin. Ziggy got stoned. Not an easy hole.
The 13th is riddled with trouble. Geoff is first out of the gate. The pin is reached through a narrow gap in the woods, and there are several sand-filled, out-of-bounds bunker areas out there, including one a scant few feet past the basket. That one comes in left of the trail to the basket. Mike brings this one in safely, near the sand bunkers.
Kevin's going to go with the overhand, so chances are it'll either kill us or we won't see it. He's going to try to fake us out. That's right. Serviceable. The shrimp boat captain, trying to get something going this round, has had a grind of it, trying to keep it together. Well, that won't help.
Zig puts his recovery shot up near the gap. Nicely done.
Mike came up just behind this out of bounds area. He's inbounds. There is OB just past the basket. Bennett is just off that path there, defined by the rocks. He's sort of stymied by a bush. He'll have to work something out. I'm gonna go have a nice look at the gap, see what he's got to work with.
It's right in the middle. Yeah, popped out. 65.
Kevin just missed the ideal landing area, but still has a look at the basket.
There's an OB right next to the basket, which pretty much takes all the heat out of this hole at the end. There's just nothing but layups.
For a birdie 3 and the outright lead. At least he didn't kick into the sand trap. Offering a risk-reward option is one thing, but penalizing a player for a little roll away or carom off the basket is just not the ideal design strategy. This one could use a tweak. Bennett has honors here on the 14th, tied for the lead. Mike remains 3 behind the leaders. Kevin's accuracy with his overhand is uncanny. Watch this one roll past the right side of the pin. Ziggy's chief concern now isn't the leaders, but a dozen other players within striking distance trying to throw him off a podium finish. Perhaps the only thing good about Mike's lie is the shade. Geoff's about 11 paces out.
By the sounds of it, there weren't many chains involved, but it stayed in.
Kevin will need this one to stay even with Bennett.
Nice 2 by Kevin. He's had a little trouble with that 15-20 footer today.
The 15th is another short pin. This one surrounded by bunkers. A bit of wind is beginning to swirl as the day heats up further. The holes played this round to the shorter pin positions took some of the bite out of the Devil's Den. This is definitely a course of the modern era, emphasizing multiple shot holes for even the most powerful players. Played long to long for a full round of 18, Devil's Den measures out at a staggering 9,600 feet, an average well over 500 feet per hole. All 4 players have a shot at deuce here. We'll see if either Kevin or Geoff can step up and take control. Ziggy gets the job done.
Way to be, Ziggy.
Mike Raley makes par and sits 4 back of co-leaders Geoff Bennett and Kevin Tomasaitis with 3 to play. The C-shaped 16th offers one of the course's tightest lines off the tee, coupled with a low ceiling. Roll 'em if you got 'em. We like a course which gives players a reason to utilize a wide variety of shots.
All right, everybody going with something unconventional?
We missed Kevin's drive during a not quite quick enough tape change. He had a nice run from the outside, leaving the door open for Geoff, who has to keep this one low to avoid an early slapdown. Dead center, but an inch or 2 low. Nice effort. Ziggy for 2 in a row. No dice.
Pretty. Really pretty.
Mike's roller ended up about 15 feet from the pin.
Yeah, Mike. Heck of a deuce, man.
That deuce will earn him honors on the 17th and bring him to within 3 of the leaders. This hole brings both out-of-bounds areas and some daunting foliage into play. Growing up literally down the street from one another in Canton, Michigan, Geoff and Kevin were often rivals on the athletic fields of their youth as they attended different high schools. Disc golf came to both later on, and they're friends now, but remain fiercely competitive. While each would be happy to see his friend pick up a big win like this and a fat check, neither wants to go down without a battle. Things are getting hotter here in more ways than one.
You guys keep it down.
Another group chatting nearby has Mike on edge, and he's in no mood to suffer fools gladly.
You guys keep it down.
He needs this to have any chance for the title. Kevin has already played, and he's looking at a par at best. This for the outright lead.
There's 2 here for Geoff Bennett.
And Bennett's birdie would carry him into the last hole with a slender 1-throw lead.
3 for Kevin. 3 for Zig. Mike's going to take his par 3, and Bennett registers another birdie.
The 18th here at Devil's Den just wasn't made for a 1-camera shoot. We posted ourselves about halfway down the fairway with a look at the newly created putting area, complete with a small water feature. We didn't have high hopes for following any of these shots. Bennett's safely out there, somewhere. It's pretty wide open out to the left, if you can avoid the out-of-bounds volleyball pit. The wind is still kicking up a bit, which feels nice, unless you're trying to throw.
Kevin, the longer he stands around, the harder the wind blows.
Man, I hope they don't kill me. There it is.
For Kevin, there would be no miracle finish today, despite shooting a tournament best 57 this round, joining 2 others for medal honors. Mike has 3rd place pretty much wrapped up, unless someone off another card made a big charge. Geoff can coast home. Despite the water feature, there's no out of bounds on the putting surface. Ohio's Tyler Horn put up a 59 to edge Ziggy out in the battle for 4th place. This water feature is another great example of this park investing in disc golf, making Devil's Den more than just a walk in the park. This course might need a tweak or two to work the kinks out, but every level of player can find a challenge here. It's great to see course designers working outside of the box. Mike would have won the Masters division in a cakewalk, but his 3rd place finish in Open earned him just about the same payout, so good on him for keeping the kids in line. Kevin would suffer a bogey here and finish in 2nd place, 2 behind Geoff. Kevin gave it a good run today, even taking the lead at one point over his longtime rival, but a couple missed putts down the stretch spelled the difference. He'll have to settle for 2nd and $725. Things got a little sloppy on the last hole at the Devil's Den here in Burchfield Park, but coming out on top, earning $1,200 and his first PDGA A-tier tournament title, was Canton, Michigan's Geoff Bennett. Always a class act, KT is the first to congratulate him. Well done, gentlemen.